New South Wales Labor leader Jodi McKay is facing increasing pressure to step down after her party's by-election loss on the weekend. Kenny Heatley is live at State Parliament this morning. Kenny, all discussions have been taking place behind closed doors, but what do we know?
Yes, Pete. Well, a lot of speculation because the Labor ministers, they're refusing to speak to us again today. And look, that's no surprise. So things are playing out again behind closed doors. But what we're hearing is the Chris Minns and also Ryan Park, probably the two leaders that would contest if there was a leadership spill. They have been on the phones and canvassing whether they've got the numbers. It's unclear at this point in time whether they do or not, but there is pressure within some Labor ranks for Jodi McKay to quietly step aside. But there are people in the Labor ranks who also support Jodi McKay and thinks it's crazy for a leader to step aside after a by-election, which is just one part of the state. And also that would set a dangerous precedent. But this is having federal implications as well. Yesterday, we had the federal Labor member for the Hunter, Joel Fitzgibbon, talking on radio on Sky News saying that the Labor brand, he's very worried about that. And he even said on Sky News yesterday that if the party doesn't get its act together, well, then there's a chance that he might not contest the next election at all, which is pretty strong words here. But also the Decentralisation Minister, Andrew Gee, was on Sky News on First Edition early this morning. His thoughts on what is going on.
You know, there's speculation about Jodi. I think Jodi's actually a very decent person and we need more decent people in politics. The problem is not so much Jodi. This has been brewing for a long time and a lot of them have been drinking the Kool-Aid on this. Joel, he's seen the light now, but he's been drinking the Kool-Aid on this for years.
Also speaking to Sky News this morning was the Shadow Minister for Housing, Jason Clare, who says we just need to put everything into perspective here.
What happened here is what we've seen in the Queensland state election, what you've seen in WA, what you've seen in Tassie. And that is premiers that have been involved in fighting the virus have been rewarded with victories in elections and by-elections. So look, just take a breath. We didn't win a seat that we haven't won in 100 years. Of course, we've got to keep working hard, fighting hard to earn the votes of every Australian, but just let's put that in a bit of perspective.
So, Pete, with a lack of official information coming from New South Wales Labor here, it's kind of left it up to those federal ministers to comment on what's going on a state level as well and what it means for them with a federal election which is looming over the next, by May next year. But it looks like it is going to be a pretty tough couple of days for Jodi McKay with increasing pressure for her to step aside.
All right, Kenny Heatley, thank you.